the Vektor fins. So I'm here with the person that pretty much you founded it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you designed it and tested it on the North Shore and stuff like that.
Yeah. Started off on Kauai actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just in my mind, drawing it out, and then I got it sent to Island Fin Design to actually create a prototype and everything. Been writing it since.
What inspired you to make something like this?
It's just like doodling on paper, and everything starts from your mind, right? Whether it's a skyscraper or something, but I was just like, man, the rake on a normal fin that you've been seeing for decades and decades, I just wanted to alter it to make it a smoother kind of feel, release. And so I just started playing around with that. The first fin was like 9 inches, and I shrunk it down, and now I have different varieties and sizes. Yeah, but that's pretty much how it started.
Yeah. And how many years ago was that?
2002, so about 19 years. Yeah.
Wow.
My math is correct.
Yeah. And then after that, the knubster came out.
Yeah, a while ago.
Yeah.
From California, some shaper.
Yeah. It's a little bit different in shape when it sits in the box, yeah?
Yeah, the shape's different. The way the front kind of goes. Mine's kind of a traditional. The front edge is similar.
So this is the front of yours.
Yeah.
And theirs is the front. It's pretty much the other way around, yeah?
Yeah,
yeah.
something like that.
So the first fin that you came out with was which template?
It's similar to this one, the drive, the longer base. And I was like, it was kind of not stiff, but your turns are drawn out a little more, a lot more speed. But then when you wanted to, you know, throw the tail kind of thing, so I kind of just started reducing the base and went to the VT and then the VS. The smaller one. So
the VT, this is like the most versatile one right here. It's in Futures and FCS.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's designed, it'll fit FCS 1 and 2 boxes.
Yep, correct. Yeah.
So you would use this on what type of fin setup?
All types really, but mainly like the trailer fin, kind of like the knubster. Most guys ride it that way. But a lot of guys from longboard side bites to twin fins, right? And then nowadays it's pretty common to have a set from whatever company, a twin with a trailer, right? You get like 4 fins, and in the past it kind of wasn't like that, right? So it works good in the trailer fin position. Okay.
So going back, you said the first one was the putting it in as a the nub, which would be in the center. You would use it with a quad setup, and then you put this fin, you put your fin in the back, right?
Yeah.
And then what does that do for the board when you're having it as a quad setup, and then you add the 5th fin, the center fin? Or
just gives it a little more bite off the bottom turn or hard turns. Just that real estate in the back, it just kind of fills that, gives it more positive flow and just dry, right? So you're just not sliding out as much. You can push it harder. It just gives you more speed and drive.
So on a quad, when you're surfing, if you go all the way off the bottom, it tends to slide or bog, yeah?
You don't have that thruster fin, right?
Yeah. So that's what it replaces, so it stabilizes it, yeah? And then the other setup was what?
Well, even this rear trailer fin with a twin, people do that too, right? So you get this open space, but then you got a little hold in the back. So
you mean the twins, like the like in the FCS would be the power drives, not the retro twin fins? Is that what you're talking about? Or are you talking about more performance ones?
Modern keels even. Like right now I'm riding a modern keel setup with just a trailer. Yeah.
Oh, so you can use it on like the MRs, or you can use it on the retro keels.
Yep. And
then put it in, so it just stabilizes it.
Yeah. Basically it kind of is compatible with all fins because you're just using that space. And then it doesn't take away from the feel of a twin, quad, or even like thruster setup. It just kind of adds to it, right? And it's adding, because it's mainly base, it's not so much depth and bite. You're mainly just adding speed and drive to the setup, whatever setup you're riding up.
Okay. So for the twin fin setup, and you wanted to add the Vektor, which one would you recommend? Which fin would you recommend, and why?
Probably the VT.
Which is these two? Yeah. VT, okay.
Yeah, the versatile template, just because it has a little more drive. Or even like the mini keel, this is why I designed this fin, for those twin fin setups. And then it just has that mini modern keel fin template.
Yeah.
And I was like, bro, it'd be cool just to have like a mini one, you know, with the same features, the little cutout for release and everything, and just to have that same feel.
Yeah. So the difference between like the VT, so if I'm gonna ride a twin and I ride this one and this one, what are the different feels of this?
This one has a lot more bite to it. Yeah, so it's more drivey. Probably
the VT or this one?
The VMK.
The VMK.
Yeah, so in all sizes, you know, maybe bigger waves too, right? With a lot more drive, you know, and hold in the barrel. It's almost more of a quad, right?
Oh, this one would have more hold?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And then this one would just be kind of more of a twin feel, right? But with a little more drive. Because you're utilizing the fin boxes like a quad if you're riding a twin setup. But like a quad, you get a lot more down the line pump, speed, drive in the barrel. But the release is more like a twin feel, right? Because it doesn't have two fins, a lot of depth. It's just like the main twin, then like a smaller, the trailing edge.
So this one would be more looser, but it'll still hold, and this one has a lot more hold and more drive.
Yeah, yeah.
On the twin fin setup. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's.
So to me, that's the beauty of fins. You know, with boards nowadays, we used to have them glassed in, and you're kind of stuck with it. But now you can get a bunch of different fins, and then now with my fins, you get to play around with your favorite fin setup and adjust it a little more, you know, get a little more out of it.
So the next setup is the there's people that have the twin side fins with and they use the Vektors on the quad boxes. So it would be pretty much like this, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've talked to somebody that was riding he's like an older guy, he's riding like a 6'4" or 6'6" something, and he was using this setup, and it doesn't slide, which I was really surprised.
Yeah, pretty big. How big is the guy?
He's not. He's probably like maybe 175 maybe, but he said it didn't slide out.
Yeah, it helps. You know, like if you take a normal fin, and you know how fin designers, they just kind of adjust the base a little or the rake, and it makes a huge difference. So this, you're actually adding it to the slot, the fin position that the shaper designs, but because it's in that perfect position, to me, you know, and it's so small that, you know, it just adds a little more performance.
So this is another setup people use with the bigger side fins, like the MRs or whatever. And then he also said for longboards, they use this for side fins on longboards, and we do actually have quite a few instructors that come in and grab these fins for their side fins. Yeah, they like it. Yeah. So so from what I understand is that since the fin has foil on both sides, it makes the tail sit a little bit more than a regular side fin.
As far as lift and everything. Yeah, I designed it that way because, like, if you ride a twin, or a lot of times the trailers for the twins, they're a little more straight, the toe in. So you can have cavitation with single foil fins, right? So it just reduces that. And plus, if you move it to the trailer position, it acts as a single, or the trailer fin, which has a double foil, right? And I've even heard Kelly Slater mention foils before, and how he's a little more open-minded to the traditional flat foil, double foil, or just like what do you call it? You know, just that 80-20.
Yeah, or 60-40 or whatever.
Yeah. So I don't know. The way I look at it, it just has a better flow to the water, the design. Because if you look at the way you push off the tail when you're, say, doing a hard turn, you're actually relying on different sides of the foil. The outside foil is usually used for if you're turning on the outside fin. That's where you get that hold. But if you do a hard turn, that fin actually pops out of the water, and you're relying on the inside fins for the turn when you're really cranking it or really turning it in a more of an arc, like a sharper arc. So if you watch videos in slow-mo, and then that's where that inside foil, to me, the double foil, kind of comes into play.
So it makes it gives it more bite and hold through the turns.
Yeah, and it's a lot more smooth. So with these, I'm going for smoothness and drive and hold, you know what I mean? So I think single foils are good for lift and things like that, but I think in certain situations when you surf, it actually doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
A lot of guys don't talk about that. It's just something I've done. I'm surprised you noticed it, or maybe other guys, but yeah.
Actually, I learned it from Keone at
Oh, okay.
FCS, and you know, I was noticing that some of the rear quads, you know, have flat foils, and the smaller wave. I like this flat foil feel on the back quads.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then talked about the McFannings, how they're a little bit more rounded on the side fins because he likes it to sit.
Oh, okay.
And then that's when I started learning about the different foils and how it makes the tail sit more or give it more lift.
Yeah.
So.
But the other thing is they're so small too, right? My fins, that it doesn't make that much of a negative impact as far as like slowing it down so much, right? But it does help with smoothness and control. So it's been working.
Yeah, everybody I talked to that's used these fins, they say the board is a lot more smoother.
Yeah. I started off making these in single foil. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it just kind of wasn't working. It wasn't performing well for the size, or I don't know, for the position where you're putting them in the board. Yeah. So stuck with the double foil, and with the materials I'm using, it makes the fin a lot thinner, so it still gives it a lot of speed. You know what I mean? Versus a fat kind of fin.
Yeah.
So they're fast, they're light. You got like carbon fiber, which just gives it stiffness in the tail. It's pretty small, so you're not going to get a lot of flex, but for this trailing edge, I wanted to keep it stiff. Got the hex core just to make it really light. So with that stiffness, you can get pretty thin fin. So yeah.
The larger ones, this one right here, this is the VD.
Yeah, for drive.
Yeah, for drive, Vektor drive. There's a lot of guys that are using it in the longboard. So they're getting the FCS fin adapter, and you actually have to kind of sand it off because where the screw is, it's kind of in the way. So they've been just sanding it down, and a lot of guys like it because you can adjust it in the box, and that little extra bite when they're riding quads, they love it a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's been around for a while, right? The longboard side bite fins.
Yeah.
I don't know who invented that.
Yeah.
But, that's the first fin that I tried. Was the longboard fin. I seen it. I was working at Island Fin Design. I seen it in the drawer. I'm like, look at this mini fin. Like, it's so cool. So I think I foiled it, or maybe I had one that was foiled. Rode it. Like, wow, little fins kind of are the next thing, in my opinion, because you start off with a single fin back in the day. Well, finless and single fin, twins or thruster, quad. Some guys ride 5 fins, especially with this type of setup. You can easily ride the 5th fin. But there's no more space, right? So by adding, to me, smaller fins is the next kind of performance enhancing fin. So
So testing, when you were making these fins, you had different people test it out, and you know what kind of, is it like real, like pro kind of guys, or
all kind of guys? Mostly just friends starting off, because just some pros, and guys that surf Lonnies and bigger wave surfers, paddling guys and stuff like that. But I haven't done the Jaws thing or nothing.
Yeah.
That's not my specialty or nothing. But yeah, bunch of guys, town, North Shore, Outer Island, Tahiti even. So
a lot of feedback, and that's how you narrowed everything down, huh?
Yeah, and guys ride them all over, like Japan. A lot of soft top surfers love them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they kind of throw them in, and they like to ride finless just for that feel. You see guys goofing around.
Yeah.
But then the little fins give it just a little more control. You know what I mean? And just Australia, Europe, all over.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Right on. Thank you very much.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks for the support. Check it out.